Hi everyone, I'm Peter Moore from SAP. I'm the General Manager for Platform and Technologies here in Asia Pacific, Japan. Today, I'm excited to be here with Saumer Phukan from Intel, and we're here to talk to you about the Intel and SAP partnership and the value that it brings to our customers who are embarking on a business transformation journey.
So hey everyone, great to be here on the business transformation tour for India along with Peter. I'm Saumer Phukan. I'm part of Intel. I run the key account sales team. I have the privilege on that of working with some of the largest accounts on their digital transformation. And it also gives me an opportunity to define how Intel is working through their transition from a PC-centric to a data-centric or data platform-centric organization. And happy to be here.
So how would you describe the SAP and Intel partnership? We've had a relationship for 25 years now. It really took off more than 10 years ago with the release of SAP HANA, SAP's in-memory data platform that's been the core of SAP offerings since then. Intel has been with us since day one of the HANA journey, bringing market-leading technical capability to realize the promise of the business benefits provided by SAP HANA. Now, with Intel's Xeon platform, which provides Optane persistent memory capabilities, HANA capabilities can be taken to the next level. This is extremely important for customers as they shift more of their enterprise workloads to the cloud. Where SAP helps 92% of the Forbes Global 2000 run their businesses, Intel powers 90% of the world's cloud computing.
If you really look at Intel and SAP, over the 2 decades, you could think about both as technology innovation powerhouses. Now, when you think about it, more than 90% or maybe 92% plus of the global Forbes 2000 are relying on SAP to do their business processes. Similarly, 90% more than 90% of the cloud computing in the world is essentially on Intel. So when you have these 2 innovation powerhouses working together, you can imagine that probably the partnership is very focused around engineering, innovation, and downstream go-to-market. When I look at this partnership, I really look at it across 3 vectors. First of all, we could talk about from a technology perspective, right? Saying, hey, how do you bring in an example of an SAP HANA working with the best of the Xeon Scalable processors and the Optane persistent memory to provide the best experience to our customers? Now that, to me, is kind of at a technology level, how you work through a solution and get to a collaboration, right? The second you could think about it is, in my view, right, you go from a technology conversation to a strategic conversation. Think about it this way. I talked about Optane and SAP, but really, if you really look at the implications of Optane, it is disrupting what memory business could have been. Think about SAP HANA and Optane together is not talking about a 10%, 20%, or 30% increase. We're really talking about 12x, 15x, really disrupting how customers really look at memory, really look at the cost of implementation, and get benefit out of it. To me, that's strategic. That's business. The final vector, in my view, when you get these powerhouses together, is visionary. How can we work together to enrich the lives of every human on Earth? We had examples where this Intel SAP partnership in this recently still continuing, COVID-19 pandemic worked together to solve issues that help people, organizations, governments to provide better service and better capabilities to the citizens. To me, that's a visionary. So when I look at this partnership, especially at the level of innovation we talk about, I'm talking about technology, I'm looking forward to business strategic partnerships, and then finally, I look towards to being a visionary partnership as well.
How does the SAP and Intel partnership benefit customers? With respect to SAP's business technology platform, central to SAP's platform as a service offering, Intel helps to reduce downtime and improve the total cost of ownership for solution implementations. Also, with respect to RISE with SAP, we've standardized on the SAP Xeon platform as a best-in-class approach to execute digital workloads in the cloud. When it comes to industry solutions, Intel helps to provide an enterprise-grade security and delivers the best platform to drive IoT solutions and more.
So when I talk about this, or when I think about this partnership between Intel and SAP, right, keep it very simplistic. We are working together with our partner ecosystem, Intel, SAP, cloud service providers, system integrators, relevant OEMs, to essentially solve business problems. It's all about customer obsession. How can we make it easy for our customers to solve their business problem so they can provide the best to their customers? And of course, at the best cost point or at the most optimized return of investment. That's what it's all about.
What does SAP and Intel's joint collaboration look like in the future? SAP's long relationship with Intel started many years ago and primarily in an on-premise solution world. Now, with an estimated 70% of enterprise workloads moving to cloud environments, as illustrated in SAP standardizing with Intel for the SAP RISE initiative mentioned earlier, there's been a major shift to cloud for cloud deployment models. Having said that, some markets and industries are still very much on-premise focused, and most organizations now need to leverage existing legacy on-premise investments together with new cloud deployments to execute business processes across hybrid, on-prem or cloud architecture environments. So regardless of the deployment model, SAP and Intel platforms provide a way to deliver an optimized solution. Looking at the complete value chain from envisioning the enterprise solution with SAP to deploying with systems integrators and other members of the solution ecosystem, the final result is delivered better together with SAP and Intel.
We talked about 2 decades of innovation, joint technical engagements, the downstream go-to-market between Intel and SAP. If you really look at the world today, there are essentially 3 inflection points that's happening out here. Number 1, artificial intelligence. Data is no longer a burden. Insights of the data makes it an advantage for organizations who know how to use it. Second, computing is moving to the edge. There's more and more requirement. People need to think about or rework their compute requirements so that you have multifunctional applications running closer to the customer. And talk about in this gig economy gets even more interesting, isn't it? So the edge, the evolution of the edge and the requirement for compute to go towards the edge is a second inflection point that we should be aware of, right? The third, 5G. 5G is going to enable newer capabilities, newer experiences. And all organizations need to rethink about how they transform their compute and network to provide their best experiences and essentially be a strategic differentiator in the new world of 5G. Now, if you really look at these 3 pillars, it all sits on one thing. It's an operational model for cloud. Because only cloud can provide the scalability, the flexibility, and performance to be able to do it in an efficient way to provide capabilities to the customers of how we leverage the technical inflection points I talked about. Now, if you keep that as a framework of how you look at it, now let's look at what we think about, right? Of course, we and SAP are pretty much joined at the hip in transitioning the discussion to the cloud. And by the way, I want to re-emphasize this conversation. When we talk about cloud, a lot of people have an assumption that cloud essentially is, it is in a public cloud. Not true. Cloud is an operational model, right? So when you talk about an operational model, you could go from a private cloud, a multi-cloud, or in some cases, a public cloud. But across these vectors, we have worked with SAP, we have innovated with SAP, and will continue to work in the future. If you take that further, the second variable of the tech inflection that we really believe is think about, as I said, you bring the edge conversation into the conversation, and you bring the AI conversation into the conversation. You bring those 2 together. We are working on areas of how we can provide better analytics, better intelligence to our customer base. How can we make sure that the collaboration around the Internet of Things and edge, how does it benefit the end customer? End of the day, if you really look at it, at a very fundamental level, it's all about data. Where do you store? Where do you compute? Where do you process? And how do you transfer data with minimal latency, maximum security? And I can tell you that I'm privileged to talk about it, but Intel and SAP have been working to maximize this collaboration across all the vectors in the technical inflection point that I talked about.
In the current landscape, what trends in the industry are you seeing? Our customers are simultaneously seeking to execute 2 key strategies, business transformation and cost reduction, and it doesn't need to be one or the other. If we look at business transformation first, companies need to manage existing operations and also drive new disruptive business initiatives, and at the same time execute new business models across distributed business ecosystems. And they need to do all this with a platform that allows them to execute very different business priorities in a seamless manner. When it comes to cost reduction, our customers can benefit from new as-a-service solution delivery models, and this is where the business technology platform and cloud comes into play. The ability to leverage OpEx-oriented cloud consumption payment models that were not available years ago helps customers to dramatically reduce solution total cost of ownership and accelerate the adoption. Over the past 12 months in APJ, we've seen a massive acceleration in adoption from our customers in technology like intelligent robotic process automation for automation to drive cost reduction and efficiency across business processes. We're also seeing our customers now increasingly applying business process intelligence to perform a health check assessment to identify high potential areas for improvement prior to embarking on a transformation journey for maximum return on investment. When you bring business transformation and cloud together, you get transformation as a service. To make transformation as a service a reality, you need to combine SAP and Intel partnership behind you. SAP and Intel together enable companies to operationalize organizational strategies and deliver a seamless, best-in-class customer experience at the lowest possible cost.
Talking about trends, I already identified the global trends or tech inflections. Coming to the country, we fundamentally see 4 trends accelerating the digitization of India, where we are looking at $1 trillion digital economy in 5 years. Number 1, it's a young economy. 2/3 of the people are less than 40 years. They're used to as a service. They're used to everything in the cloud. So cloudification of everything is one primary trend that all of us should be cognizant of. Number 1. Number 2, like young population, young economy, young organizations. 20 plus unicorns in 2020, probably already 7 to 8 in the first quarter of 2021. So we should be in a place where we understand the diversification, bring the best of breed in, and provide the best to the customers. So ecosystem diversification is the second obvious trend in the country. Third, gig economy. Today, especially with COVID setting in, it's all about getting the best of skill sets at the best possible capabilities, at the best possible price point to provide the best possible output to customers. This puts a different level of challenges in terms of the network security, the network planning, what have you. And the question is, we as Intel and SAP, how do we work together to weave those trends, right? Whether it's about change of network requirements, change about how we look at best of breed, and end of the day, bring it together to provide the best to our customers. Last but not the least, we talked about cloudification, ecosystem diversification, and a gig economy. In India, being a new country and being new to technology, we are relooking at how we establish policies to provide protection to our customers or to provide protection to our citizens. So we have introduced bills like the National Digital Platform, the Personal Data Protection Bill. What it would ensure? Localization of data infrastructure. Great for the country, but we as organizations need to be able to embrace this and work on solutions that embrace this localized data infrastructure beyond the 3 capabilities we talked about already: cloudification, ecosystem diversification, gig economy, and then localized infrastructure.
What is the goal and vision of the Business Transformation Tour, and what can attendees expect to learn from the Business Transformation Tour? Our vision is to show how organizations can make business transformation as a service a reality for their business. Rise with SAP and Intel together delivers this critical step of the transformation. Further, we'll also touch on SAP's North Star business platform as a way of supporting our customers with necessary orchestration capabilities as they execute their digital business transformation. We'll also explore how business process intelligence is a necessary approach to ensure that we focus on and address the unique needs of each area of the business. This event series will provide you with several opportunities to explore with on-demand sessions, keynotes, and different conversations to shine additional light on this unique opportunity to transform your business. Please enjoy the event. And thank you finally to Intel for joining us in this tremendous opportunity to drive business transformation in our customers' businesses across the Asia-Pacific Japan region.
If you go to the breakout sessions, you will see how customers or your peers by leveraging, technologies from Intel's, SAP, and a network of partners to provide the best ROI, the best capabilities, the best experiences to their customers. You'll hear interviews with experts, which will also give you a first-hand flavor of how organizations see this partnership. I'd also recommend that you kind of look through some of the demos, because end of the day, as I said, it's all embedded in innovation. When you talk about innovation, you can see how some of the innovations that Intel's bringing to the table. I named some of a few of those earlier, but again, look at it. In a distributed environment, there could be so many. You'll be able to have a first-hand view in the demo booths around how those technologies are helping your peers, your organizations or your peer organization provide their benefit and their best experience to their customers. And again, it's a learning that all of us will go through. Again, great to be here. Pleasure to be talking to Peter. Pleasure to be addressing you. And please enjoy the rest of the experience on the Business Transformation Tour. Thanks for joining us.